is not opened to his liking, so that he can extract from his enemies, the enemies of the American people, the enemy of the Middle East, their oil, so that it can pass through their strait, while he won't stop the bombing campaign or make any commitments to stop the bombing campaign upon their people. But also the domestic issues, as you can imagine and probably know better than most, are weighing heavily on every one of our hearts, even in the midst of this enormous distraction. Barbara Arnwine, our show is always yours. Barbara?
Well, oh my goodness, it is a hard one to choose because we have a president who is threatening to commit war crimes, international war crimes. People, in war times, you cannot attack civilians who have nothing to do. They are not carrying arms. You don't know who they support, what they believe, but he is threatening to destroy the power plants that make their homes operate. Walk around your house and imagine if you had no electricity. Walk around your house and imagine if you weren't able to even call your relatives. Walk around your house and imagine what the people of Iran are fearing will happen to them. He's talking about destroying their power grid. Which means all those people in hospitals who are on ventilators, who are being treated, they will die. And we know that as a result of one bombing already, people did die in a hospital who were on ventilators. We know that so it's a war crime because it will kill and hurt innocent babies in ICU and NICU, all of that. So people, when you're thinking about this, don't just think about it in the abstract. Think about how it would affect your community. Lights out, nothing operating. What does he think? He think these people are going to go in the streets? Remember, he claims he did this because people were getting in the streets and were being slaughtered, et cetera, et cetera. But how are they going to stop? How are they going to control the government? What they going to do? It's just evil. It's vicious what he's threatening to do. Blow out the bridges so people can't even transport themselves to other locations to help each other. It is just insane. And it's a tragedy. It speaks so ugly to the international community that no one can tell him to stop. And that and it speaks horrendously to our government, that Congress and the Senate and the House are on recess, hiding while this man is promising this kind of destruction. Folks, it's absolutely unacceptable. But the answer is that we got to get rid of them. For those of us who are disgusted with this behavior, there are elections going on right now, today. As we sit here and talk, they are voting in Georgia, in the Marjorie Taylor Greene district, to see who will replace her. And in Wisconsin, major election for the Supreme Court justice replacement. And we know Supreme Courts interpret the state constitutions, which has to do with everything, voting, your rights, all kind of constitutional rights under the state constitutions. People, wake up!
Barbara, even Marjorie Taylor Greene and the governor of the state of Illinois have found common ground, J.B. Pritzker, on calling for the invocation of the 25th Amendment for the removal of the President of the United States. The Transformative Justice Coalition and other organizations, are they heading generally in that direction?
I can't speak because we, of course, are 501c3, which means that it's illegal for us to advocate something like that publicly. But folks, Barbara Arnwine ain't quiet. Barbara Arnwine has a private, personal voice. And the 25th Amendment's been cried out for its invocation. Give it to Maxine Waters, who has been saying this for what? She's been saying it for at least, ever since this Congress came into session. She's been calling for it. It is just clear to anybody looking that something is wrong and that this man is out of control. Folks, did you know that last week after our show, did you know that they fired 30 generals and other top military officials? Why do you think they're doing this? Not just because there's something wrong with these people, but it's because they're saying, this strategy is bad, that doesn't work, that it's illegal, that it's a war crime. It's because they are too good, and because if you're Putin and you want to control our military, then how the heck can you allow these independent voices to be there? People, we are in trouble. Hesep has lost his mind up there on Easter, this past Easter, talking about this is God's war. No, it's not. It's your war. And you're invoking and you are invoking and desecrating the name of God to back your illegal actions.
We are with the president of the Transformative Justice Coalition right here at KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More when we come forward right here on KBLA.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Stand up! When the story gets twisted, who's going to tell the truth? When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Talk 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect Black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, Black voices, Black power.
The heat is on.
On the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected. Stay informed. Stay loud.
Stand up! Can we just talk?
You've heard me say it before, how we talk to one another matters. Earlier this year, we launched our first cohort, and I'm grateful to those who leaned in early and helped to shape the work. Now I'm inviting you to join me for a new live seminar, The Practice of Dialogue, Becoming a More Effective Communicator. This is a small group experience designed to help you strengthen how you communicate in your work, your relationships, and your everyday life. Space is limited to keep the experience personal and interactive. So if you're ready to take your communication to the next level, now is the time to focus on the skills that make conversations meaningful. The new 4-week cohort begins Monday, May 4th, and there's a nice discount for early bird registrants. Visit TavishTalks.com to learn more and reserve your place today. That's TavishTalks.com, because better conversations don't just happen, we practice them.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the beat. KBLA Talk 1580. Download that app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on Tenacious Tuesdays. Our regular contributing guest, Dr. Attorney Barbara Arnwine. Her Juris Doctorate gives her that title. She is not only the founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition, but she has been critical in advancing critical pieces of civil rights legislation, including the Civil Rights Act of 1991 and the 2006 reauthorization of provisions of the Voting Rights Act. Barbara, just before we transition to domestic issues, and I'm sure that there is a litany and an outline filled with them during this great distractive period, the countdown to Trump's ultimatum that he will end a civilization tonight at 8 p.m. We're all anxious about that. The Pope has now weighed in and said that this behavior is unacceptable. Thank God for the Catholic Church and the leadership of Pope Leo from the city of Chicago weighing in on what is obviously a deeply troubling development in the discourse of civilized behavior. Barbara, let's pivot to the domestic, if you don't mind. A lot of it, the Voting Rights Act, many other issues are in front of us that this great distraction is now taking off of the table that we should be discussing going into the midterms.
Everyone, thank you so much. Let me try to do a bridge between the international and the domestic. It was announced this weekend, I believe, that Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On" has been voted the best song ever. And it's, people, if you never heard it, please go listen to it. Some of us grew up with it, but it's it's an anti-war, anti-racial injustice, oppression song. And what I didn't know, Jesse Jackson Jr., I had no clue that song was written by one of the members of the Temptations, who wrote the song, and they wouldn't record it because his crew said it was too political. Are you ready?
Can you believe that?
Yes, and said it was too political, so they wouldn't sing the song. So Marvin Gaye, of course, being part of the Motown sound, stable, he picked it up. Isn't that amazing?
It absolutely is.
I never knew that. I just thought this was his song originally. And so it just tells you a whole lot about courage and about everything. But on the domestic front, when we last met, we talked last Tuesday about y'all's president's executive order and on voting, and how he had issued this executive order saying that he was going to destroy mail-in voting, in essence, by giving USPS the control over whether or not, get ready for this, everybody listening, under his executive order, should it go into effect, and it won't, because we're going to talk about destroy. We're going to destroy that executive order in court because it's unconstitutional. He has no such power. But in any event, under his order, the USPS would be given a list of, quote, acceptable voters. And if you had a mail-in ballot and you're not on that list, they can't mail your ballot.
Oh, wait a minute, Barbara. How does the United States Postal Service, if I live at a certain address,
yes,
I mail in my ballot,
yes,
what role does the United States Postal Service play in intercepting my mail before it reaches its destination at the Secretary of State or the clerk's office? What role do they?
Intercepting and destroying it, right? They don't transmit it. Your ballot would never go to where it was intended to go. Not to mention, we talked about the Supreme Court and its, machinations trying to say, well, if it's not there by election day, then it can't be counted, and, overturning all these states' rules, all this stuff. This is yet another layer. Whoever gave the USPS under our Constitution any authority over our voting? Never. Mm-hmm. And they want to use what they call their own, save tool that DOJ has come up with. Folks, if you read Orwell, Do you know 1984? Have you read Animal Farm? If you haven't, I totally recommend it. If you can't, just at least go and read a summary of the syllabus of the books. Do something, because you need to understand that they're doing two things at once. They're trying to destroy, who's a citizen, so that only the president and his minions can decide who's a citizen of the United States. And they're trying to, at the same time, to get control over your life. They want a national, they call it a voter database. And what they're actually creating is a national tracking system where they can track all Americans, wherever you go, whatever you do, and so that they will have total control over your life. And folks, if you ever have had the misfortune of somebody deciding that you don't exist somewhere, like somehow somebody erased your bank account, or somebody erased some other personal data, and all of a sudden you can't access what's yours. People, you do not want a national tracking system, and that's what they are desperately trying to create, so that they can totally control. Who does this? Fascists. This is a total mechanism that fascists love to use.
Barbara, I read this week that the most optimistic view for Democrats in the midterms is that we could gain three seats that would lead to the Hakeem Jeffries speakership to hold this administration accountable. And I was shocked initially when I read it, because the idea that after all of the resistance, after all of this movement against Donald Trump, Congress still polls less than any other branch of government in its present perceptions by the American people. In my own election, 25% of the people turned out in the 2nd Congressional District. I think 75 or 80% opted not to participate in the Democratic primary. And so I'm wondering, are there any concerns on your end, and what are you hearing about, one, turnout in these primary elections, and what can we expect in November that could thwart our hopes of actually regaining control of the Congress, in light of the fact that not only the challenges to the Voting Rights Act, but you've introduced a new factor today from the United States Postal Service, that they're willing to intercept ballots.
That's what he's trying to get them to do.
Destroy them.
That's what he's trying to get them to do.
Sure, they're not counted in the general election.
Folks, that new polling data, I got to look at it more, but my understanding of it, we forget that there's been all this redistricting taking place, and it makes it harder for people to elect a candidate of their choice. The other thing is, your dad's voice keeps just resonating in my head, and I'm like, free me! But his voice keeps resonating in my head. And what do I hear him talking about? I hear him talking about rocks. Folks, what did Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. call a rock? A rock is a person. There are 50 to 60 million of them in the United States who are eligible to vote and aren't registered and don't participate in the electoral system. What are rocks? Rocks. What's he talking about when he talks about rocks? Who else is he talking about? He would be talking about the 40 plus million registered voters who never show up and vote. They're registered, but they don't vote. And what we got to do, because, he talked about these rocks just lying on the ground, doing nothing. But what we got to do for 2026 is we got to teach those rocks how to fly up and shatter some voter oppression. And what does that mean? A lot of people tell me, Barbara, people don't want to vote. They're not going to vote, so and so and so. And what we found out, that's just a lie, okay? And I know you said, what? Yes, because when the Transformative Justice Coalition has gone into places like New Jersey, where they said the black vote was going to be the worst turnout in the history of the state in November of 2025. When we gone into Texas, in Harris County, where people said, oh, it's going to be the worst turnout ever. Yeah, we'll be lucky if we get 5% of them to vote in Harris County. In each of those places, TJC partnered up with groups. And what did we do? Folks, we were able to absolutely turn things around. It ended up that in New Jersey, they had the largest black voter turnout they had seen in ages. In Harris County, it just was astounding, through the roof turnout. But that's because we did the work. You cannot reach these voters by just preaching at them, just telling them what they better do. You got to go out in these streets and talk to these voters. You got to go out in these streets and you got to help these voters to figure out how the heck they vote. Where do they vote? I mean, they need help. And we got this whole notion that somehow everybody just knows what to do and they're just lazy and they don't do it. We run into voters. First of all, most of them don't even know there's an election. Then once we educate them about the election, they're like, well, how do I know how to vote? I keep hearing that people are turning up to these places and waiting for hours and then they can't vote. And I don't want to do that. And we're like, yeah, we with you. So let's do this. Let's check your voter registration. Here's how you do it. We're going to check it right now. And then we run into people who are just fearful. They're like, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job if I vote. I'm telling you, we encounter every bit of this. And if you're not out there in those streets helping the voters, then it's not going to happen. And so it's so important for people to stop thinking they can just buy ads on TV. Stop thinking they can just do this and they're going to reach the voters. You got to literally be in the streets. And that's what TJC has learned.
I'm thinking in this moment that if people cannot hear your voice on this question of why we should vote, why we have to move from indifference in this election process, that so much more is going to be lost, Barbara, than just the traditional issues that we have fought over. What are the consequences of another 2 years of a Congress that does not hold Donald Trump accountable? Barbara?
But there's no limit to what could happen. I mean, Donald Trump, uncontrolled, will destroy our whole democracy. He will destroy our freedom of speech. He will destroy our freedom of movement. Why do you think they want to track where you go and what you do? Why do you think they want this national database? He's going to control people. What do you think they're building all these detention centers for, people? Do you realize that the number of people they're arresting who are, quote, undocumented, who, quote, committed a crime, that number has been dropping in many areas? Who are they creating these centers for? Me and you, if you don't pick it up. Anybody who's going to be a dissenter, anybody who speaks out against him, they're going to repress everyone. His international policy will be world domination for the benefit of the rich. People, we are in trouble. And I'm just worried. I'm really deeply worried that people don't comprehend the threat that we're under, that people think it's something else. The other thing I want to say too, folks, what you don't know, because nobody tracks it and talks about it, is the millions of dollars, the billions of dollars that are spent telling you not to vote. That's spent telling you that your vote is voting is worthless. That's spent telling you that if you vote, that you have wasted your time because the two parties are identical. All of this, folks, if you are not free thinking, if you're not seeking information, if you're not gathering with those of us who are educating about what's really happening, then you're in trouble. Please, please shake everybody you know, wake them up. Make sure that you're saying to them what Marvin Gaye sung. What's going on?
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and the president of the Transformative Justice Coalition, Barbara Arnwine. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. California Congressman Ro Khanna is calling for President Trump to be removed from office, citing a controversial social media post about Iran.
This is a moral crime. It is a war crime. We need to be demanding that Congress convene today.
He's joined by former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene in raising the 25th Amendment, while Congressman Ambi Bera is pushing for a vote to reassert Congress authority over war powers. Black Maryland Governor Wes Moore, joined by Black Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott, unveiled a plan to build thousands of homes near transit stations. Officials say the effort could create over 5,000 housing units and generate nearly $1.4 billion in tax revenue. And teens in Atlanta are being warned to follow a new curfew or face consequences. Black Mayor Andre Dickens says anyone under 18 must be home by 11 p.m. on weekdays and midnight on weekends. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers have an interesting assignment tonight at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. They need to figure out how to slow down Dallas Mavericks rookie sensation Cooper Flagg. In the Mavericks' last two games, the 19-year-old forward has scored 96 points. Flagg dropped 45 on the Lakers on Sunday and 51 Friday night against Orlando. The Clippers have clinched a spot in the play-in round in the Western Conference playoffs. The Lakers are at home tonight against Oklahoma City. Here's what the Lakers will be missing while Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are sidelined with injuries. A combined 56.8 points and 13.8 assists. The Big Ten Conference hit the trifecta. The Big Ten has won national championships this year in top three major sports. Indiana won the football title in January. Michigan won the men's basketball title Monday night. And UCLA won the women's basketball title Sunday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. Let's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, aka the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
Can we just talk?
You've heard me say it before, how we talk to one another matters. Earlier this year, we launched our first cohort, and I'm grateful to those who leaned in early and helped to shape the work. Now I'm inviting you to join me for a new live seminar, The Practice of Dialogue, Becoming a More Effective Communicator. This is a small group experience designed to help you strengthen how you communicate in your work, your relationships, and your everyday life. Space is limited to keep the experience personal and interactive. So if you're ready to take your communication to the next level, now is the time to focus on the skills that make conversations meaningful. The new 4-week cohort begins Monday, May 4th, and there's a nice discount for early bird registrants. Visit TavishTalks.com to learn more and reserve your place today. That's TavishTalks.com, because better conversations don't just happen, we practice them.
The joint will be jumping. Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Big Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. Foot stomping, heart stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Tenacious Tuesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and I am very excited because we are one step closer to being able to receive calls on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. I'm very excited about that. We've been hiring through some of the technology to allow our listeners in drive time to call into the show, ask questions, and participate with us live on the J Lunch Club. Very grateful to our producer, our engineers, and others who've made that reality and are working on making that reality possible. Our very special guest in this hour is none other than Barbara Arnwine, our most tenacious guest. Currently, she also serves as co-chair and facilitator of the National Commission for Voter Justice, the Millennial Votes Matters convenings, and the Voters' Rights Alliance. She was the head of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law from February 1989 until June of 2015. It's either 89 or 99. I got to get my bifocals fixed.
89.
89. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I was there for 26 years.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Barbara, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited about the call-ins. That's going to be awesome.
I'm actually geeked about that.
I can't wait. That is so exciting.
And the area being able to call into our program and from around the world, depending upon the matter, we'll be taking calls on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show once the technology has ironed itself out. Barbara, I want to go back to the domestic front for just a moment.
Yes.
I'm profoundly concerned with the president's budget request of $1.5 trillion. And I don't know the way in which this Congress may honor that request, but it accompanied a statement the president made about the end of Medicare and Medicaid because we can't do both. We have to fight wars. We cannot do both. That has to be troubling for the American people at this hour in the era of their affordability.
And he said, add to it, he said, no daycare. No daycare. So if you're a mommy, if you're a family out there and you want to work, you need to work, and you're getting some kind of daycare subsidy, forget about it. He says you don't need it because you're taking money away from his ability to drop some bombs or put some drones up so Iran or anybody else can shoot them down. He's mad. Folks, he's been at war for 6 weeks. He's losing. He has not won this war. So now he's threatening to just, create, even stronger military so that he can, quote, go out and dominate the world, take over Greenland, Cuba, whatever he wants to. He is out of control. He's an abomination to humanity at this moment. Anybody who can on Easter, put out an F-bomb message. And I'm talking about what he said in his writing.
That's what he said.
Nobody made him do that. Nobody's misinterpreting. He wrote it. And he talked about he would wipe out a whole civilization. Wipe out a whole civilization is his quote. What is that, people? There's a word for that.
Insane.
Insane, crazy, madman, etc. We said he never should have his hands on the nuclear codes, all of that. But folks, the word is genocide.
It certainly is.
Genocide, when you set out to wipe out a whole civilization. He didn't say a military apparatus. He said a whole civilization. Then mocked people who are Muslim. Praise be to Allah. Just making fun of their greatest, highest praise to God. Folks, this is a madman. He's dangerous. There's no reason there. That's the reason why you now got a list of conservatives who are saying the 25th Amendment should be invoked as soon as possible, who are were his people. Remember when he ran, he didn't run and say, I'm going to start wars. He said, I'm going to stop wars. So he lied to you. If you voted for him and you believe that, he lied to you. Go back to center. Go back to some centers. He lied to you, and he did it purposefully to deceive you, to steal your vote. If you got to come on, folks. We got to stop this man.
Barbara, the idea of wiping out a civilization,
a
little less than 4 hours from now.
Civilization.
It raises the specter of the bomb.
Yes.
Any concerns, Barbara, that this president is capable of using the bomb?
I hope not. I just think that when you're dealing with a madman, he's capable of anything. And we know he's mentally unwell. And we know that he thinks that he has the right to control everything. Folks, this is the worst of the worst, and it's coming out of our country. We are responsible as Americans for this behavior, and it's dangerous. Even if he did the bombardment of bombs, just the destruction it would cause. I mean, I was talking about walking around your house and not having electricity. What else did you lose when you don't have electricity? You don't have any food, folks. You're not able to refrigerate your food. You're not able to have milk for a baby. Folks, I mean, this is so dangerous what this man is pledging to do in our name, using our dollars.
Your laptops don't work. Your cell phones won't work because you can't charge them. You cannot chill your milk. You cannot freeze your food. The idea of wiping out power stations, human beings can only survive a certain number of days without fresh water, right. Desalinization stations, getting salt out of water stations, the idea of disconnecting communities where bridges have been built by road, by train, by other forms of passage, and sending people back to the Stone Age. As the President of the United States has articulated, is a deeply troubling series of events raising questions about the president's mental capacity. Barbara?
He's clearly insane. And and Congress, you are cowards. The House, Mike Johnson, Steve Scalise, All of you are cowards. You are aiders and abettors of this crime. You're not, quote, innocent. Your hands are dripping in blood. And you need to do something. You can't hide. You can't do this. I mean, this is despicable. It is absolutely unacceptable. Thank you, Pope Leo. It is unacceptable. It is inhumane. It is ungodly.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. When we come forward, the president of the Transformative Justice Coalition is going to still be with us. We're going to be finishing our conversation, rounding out the consequences of a little less than 4 hours from now, maybe 3 hours and 15 minutes. The president promises to end a civilization, something we've never heard from a president of the United States before. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. The midterm election campaign season is here now. The 2028 presidential election is right around the corner. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. It's all in for 2026 and 2028. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, LA, tax money is our money. Let's decide how to spend it together. We deserve investments that actually make our neighborhoods safe, like affordable housing, good jobs, fire prevention and protection, and community support programs. How can we make that happen? Join Black Lives Matter Los Angeles and the Movement for Black Lives for the People's Budget Assembly on April 16th. Together, we'll discuss solutions to problems we're facing and make a plan with fellow Angelinos for a city that works for the people. There'll be food, childcare, and great conversation. It's time to demand a budget that puts the people first. Join us on April 16th at 7 p.m. at BLMLA's Center for Black Power and make your voice heard before the Assembly through the People's Budget Survey. Register today at peoplesbudgetla.com. We'll see you there.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Roger and Tracy saved over $18,400. Cynthia was recovering from a family tragedy and saved over $10,300. If you are drowning in debt, then call Debt Blue. Debt Blue is a professional debt negotiation firm with over 20 years of experience helping people pay back a fraction of what they owe. Learn how to cut your debt up to half or maybe more. Be debt-free in 24 to 48 months, even with bad credit. With an A+ rating from the BBB, you can rest easy knowing Debt Blue is going to deliver guaranteed debt reduction. Debt Blue offers a success guarantee. You pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved. involved. That's right. You save money or it's free. Call now for significant debt relief and a free consultation. 800-200-8879. That's 800-200-8879. You don't have to declare bankruptcy. This program works if you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in debt. Call for your free consultation today. 800-200-8879. That's 800-200-8879.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is dedicated to inspiring youth and resilience through storytelling, arts, filmmaking, and enrichment programs for youth and families in under-resourced communities and system-impacted individuals. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit providing free and low-cost arts programs to youth and families from under-resourced communities, both system-impacted youth and those affected by the incarceration of a loved one. 1 in 43 children in America have a parent incarcerated. 70% of those children are expected to end up in prison. Through filmmaking, animation, theater, and writing, they help young people express themselves, build confidence, and imagine new possibilities. Beyond the arts, they offer financial literacy workshops, emergency support, and scholarships. Because thriving takes more than talent, it takes access. To learn more about the impact of Michael Daughters Foundation and how you can be a part of the movement, please visit their website, michaelsdaughterfoundation.com. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to Tenacious Tuesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. And our very special regular contributor is none other than the president of the Transformative Justice Coalition, Barbara Arnwine. Barbara, welcome forward to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Barbara, how can we continue to support your work?
Please give to the Transformative Justice Coalition at tjcoalition.org. tjcoalition.org.
Barbara, why are we no longer discussing issues of affordability? Why are we no longer discussing expanding the Affordable Care Act? Why are we no longer talking about extending the Supplemental Nutrition and Assistance Program for families who work hard every day, and at the end of a hard day's work, they still can't put enough food on their tables to feed their families? And why are we talking about spending $1 billion, I think, a day in Iran dropping bombs? And Michael Cohen in the last hour said that every single day, gas prices are as high as they are. We are spending over $800 million a day as Americans, and our paychecks are not keeping up with the amount of month that we have left over. Barbara?
You know the answer is Epstein.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Come on now. Epstein.
Come on now. This has got to be the biggest distraction in the world. What many of our listeners may or may not know is that a number of files have come out suggesting, in fact, confirming from very credible witnesses that Donald Trump's more than inappropriate relationship with 13-year-old victims. Well, it's beyond sad what the files and what the reporting is actually saying. Please Google Donald Trump 13-year-old victims. You're not hearing the news from me. You should find it with your own research on the Department of Justice's websites, AP's websites, as well as Reuters' websites. They're detailing some events that involve Donald John Trump, the 45th and 47th president of the United States, to which we are not focusing on at this hour. Barbara?
And we only have half the files, folks. Half of the files. We desperately need to stay focused on Epstein because he knows that he created criminal acts that will haunt him for the rest of his life. He needs to be in jail for what he did. And we have to be clear about what's in those Epstein files. And it's not just him. What about some Melania? Come on, folks. There's half of those files are still hidden from public view. That's why he got rid of his girl, Pam Bondi, because she wasn't doing a good enough job to hide the files, good enough job to dodge Congress. He knows. And Bondi said, I think I'm not going to jail for you. I think that's what all this really means. But there are people who will. There are people who are willing to destroy evidence. And so that's, the difference of what we're looking at. Epstein, and the oligarchs. Bernie Sanders is not wrong. These oligarchs, they love this war. It's good for them. It's bad for us. It's good for them. Folks, we have to rise up as the people. This is unacceptable that we are having somebody talking about wiping out a civilization. Do you know the ancient artifacts that exist in Iran? This is one of the world's oldest societies, older than our little 100-year-old society. They're millennial years old. So we got to understand just how really vicious this is against humanity. Folks, it's time for this man to go. He has abused his office. He has committed war crimes. He is trying to cover up his pedophile, absolutely inhumane actions towards girls. This is just unacceptable. Time for a change.
Barbara, I want you to know that I am so proud to have a friend like you willing to put your life, your career on the line for our social justice struggle. We are grateful for that, Barbara.
Got to. We have to.
Martin Luther King Jr. said to one of his friends, I don't know if it was Attorney John Bustamante or who it was, that while we're going to jail today, we need Attorney Bustamante to be on the outside to bail us out after we get arrested.
Right.
And so I want to make sure that all of you support the Transformative Justice Coalition, because when Barbara Arnwine goes to jail on behalf of all of us, some of us here at KBLA need to be out here raising money to help get Barbara out.
Now you see, he's putting me in jail. You notice, folks. He's putting me in jail. Listen, they're trying to do away with our First Amendment, trying to do that. Andrew Carr is a disaster, trying to do away with all of the independent media. People, this is fascism writ large. It's time for us to rise up.
Barbara,
rise up, everybody.
About 2.5 minutes for your word of hope.
My word of hope is that the Constitution says, not we the president, not we the do nothing Congress, not we the billionaires, not we the Epstein file hiders, not we the cabinet, not we the state legislators, not we the governors, not we the state legislators. It says we the people. The people. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am the people, and rise up. This cannot be on our watch. This cannot be our legacy. This man has to go. Thank you.
Barbara, thank you for joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. I'm in North Carolina on my way tomorrow to New York City to participate in the National Action Network Conference with Reverend Al.
Yes.
Tonight, I am going to be with Governor Josh Stein, along with the Divine Nine, District 6, discussing ways to politically organize their district for the midterms and beyond. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. We're on KBLA Talk 1580. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward in just a moment.
KBLA